whenever I see a self-defense case involving, what would otherwise be, a misdemeanor crime of domestic violence, usually there's only two witnesses. And I think that plays on a lot of juries, wouldn't you say?
It does. And, we have to consider as well that these cases, they end up going to trial a lot,
Yeah.
right? In fact, when you go to larger counties, larger DA's offices across the country, you're often going to see entire divisions of DA's offices where they are specially trained to only handle domestic violence cases. Reason being, they are so particular. There's going to be a lot of, hey, he or she started it. I was just defending myself.
Right.
That's a huge defense in these issues, right? And you're also going to see a lot of he said, she said, and a lot of people recanting their stories, right? And changing stories. And so we have, this unwillingness by prosecutors' offices to drop these cases, right?
Yeah.
For that reason. So we see these cases, you have to defend yourself against a spouse. You are way more likely to hit the trial stage or to be, feel like you're forced into a plea bargain, which means your self-defense rights are really, really your gun rights are really, really on the hook.
Yep.
But, I think also there's like a degree of skepticism that comes into all of these as well. Anytime, and I think it's, we can expand beyond domestic violence a little bit, anytime you defend yourself against someone there's going to be a lot more skepticism and a lot more attention paid by police, prosecutors, and juries about, well, did you really need to do what you did? Because you know this person, you're
Right.
related to them maybe. Did you really have to defend yourself as opposed to the mugger who comes out of the dark alley?
Yeah,
Right?
and juries like that. I mean, they like it when you have your innocent party kind of beat bopping along, and then they're forced to respond to a threat. They love that all day long. What I think gets a lot of good folks in trouble, and is because when you have a trial, and we do this in Texas, we have a bifurcated trial system where, you have your kind of snapshot. Did the incident occur? Did it not occur? And then if they find the person guilty, they go on and explore kind of like a photo album. They go look at their entire life and see, what punishment is deserving of this person. And I think juries, because they're limited, they have these blinders on and they're just looking at the incident at hand. They don't get to see all the history leading up to it. They don't get to see how it escalated maybe over a long period of time, because most courts will say, hey, that's not relevant to this incident. And so I think that also brings a heightened level of kind of scrutiny to these cases. I mean, I'll say when I was a prosecutor, we treated family violence cases, domestic violence cases different than our typical assault cases. And it's for that very reason. And when prosecutors are being trained, they're told about, all of these statistics with misdemeanor crimes of domestic violence. For example, this is what they tell us, an abuser will abuse about 8 times before the victim will report it. And so, you see, hey, not only are you, and it gets in the prosecutor's mind, not only am I prosecuting for this one instance that this, boiled over and this was reported, we're trained, based on the statistic, hey, this has happened a lot. And so we're really, it kind of heightens the stakes.
Yeah.
And
you're trained that it's going to get worse and that it may end in death. And so then you've got
Yes.
a whole lot of prosecutors who don't want to see their name splashed up on the front page of the newspaper because they dismissed a case based on self-defense
Yep.
that was a domestic violence case. And then later the person went on to kill the other spouse.
Yes.